Good afternoon, it's CJ. I'm here in Lindsey Crossman Chapel here with JT Hairston II, and we just finished our installment of today's Refresh. We are so glad to those of you who've been able to come and join us, hang out with us for our brief ecumenical service, and also to have a light lunch afterwards. We also know that not everybody can make it on Thursdays from 12:15 to 12:45, and so from time to time we thought it might be cool if we just recorded a short snippet of what we talked about and what we focused on so that people can have the opportunity to join in that way. Today we talked about patience. We talked about patience, not just patience in terms of waiting nicely, but patience in terms of how do we find a way to wait without anxiety. And I gave three strategies that we can use to try to make sure that we find our pathway to waiting on those things that are to come, whether it is something frivolous like you getting through a line in a fast food restaurant, or something more serious. You may be waiting on the next stage of life to open up for you. You might be waiting on some good news in the midst of some scary worries. Whatever you're waiting on, there's three things I want to share with you that hopefully will help you navigate times when we would lean towards being impatient. Number one is that we have to confront our own indignity. That is our indignation that we have that causes us to think that we deserve for something to happen right now. The truth of the matter is we may be able to make good arguments of why that is true, but we also can step back and remember that we have had so much in our lives that has gone well for us, that we maybe didn't even deserve. That sometimes when they don't go so well for us, if we get out of that sense of why is this happening to me and why is this happening to me now, we can find the ability to be patient. The second thing I have is sometimes we have to change our calculus. I talked today about our calculus being the time over anticipation, or TOA. That is how much time has passed since the point where we thought our issues should have been resolved and where we are right now. The further we get from that, the more angst we have and the more angry we can find ourselves getting. But if we find a way to go back and recalculate, maybe even understand our situations a little bit differently, we'll find an ability to be patient, to wait without that sense of angst and anxiety. The last thing I shared today was that we have to stop watching the pot. When I was young, my mother used to always say to me, a watched pot never boils. Now, I realize I'm in an academic community and some of my science colleagues might take exception to that, as absolutely, if you actually do watch a pot long enough, it will boil. But most of us understand the point in that message, which is usually it feels like it takes a lot longer for for a pot to boil when we're staring at it. The same can be true in life when we're staring at that one thing in anticipation. And so when we stop watching the pot, what I would encourage us to do is spend the time that we are waiting for that thing that we want to happen in anticipation and in hope, but also focus on the other things that we can be doing in that space and time. If it's the next stage of life and you're waiting for a door to open, how can we prepare ourselves for that moment? If it's something that is going on and you're really nervous about, how do we both wrestle with those feelings and also look forward to all the things that bring us calmness and peace in our lives? We can find many things to do, even just being kind to other people. I promise you, when we occupy ourselves in a way that is productive for our own spiritual, mental, physical health, that watch pot is still going to boil in the same time, but it's not going to feel like it took as long. You won't have as much anxiety, and you will learn to be more patient. I thank you for staying with me for this quick minute today. I hope this was uplifting to you and valuable. Let us know, and we'll do this from time to time. And again, we hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Take care.